just anybody, even if they're not trying to create content like we are. Um, when you fully put yourself out there and like name it and claim who you're trying to be and who you want
Yeah.
to be, it really
Yeah.
changes your life. Like it changes
It
your life. It weeds out the people.
Yes, and like the key to getting what you want is knowing what you want. And that has been something I've never been good at is like I've just kind of like let life happen to me. And it's
Hmm.
because I don't want to fail, right? I don't
Right.
want to say that I want something or put it on my vision board or whatever and then
Hmm.
it not happen because I was like so mean to myself when I would fail. No one else
Hmm.
really cares when you fail.
Right.
Um, but saying what you mean, what you want, and like what your goal is, it is like it's amazing what it will
Right.
do.
Right.
And I encourage everyone to figure out what you want and say it out loud.
Hmm. Yeah, say it out loud and do it. And it's okay also. I don't know about you, but which it sounds like you had a pretty like straight job history. Like you said, you were just being yeah. So I've probably had like 13 or 14 jobs. I've tried to do different things and some doors closed and some things just didn't work out. And I think that's another reason that people, especially with content creation, are like, okay, this is going to be so embarrassing if it doesn't go anywhere. So that's one of the things. Oops. So that's one of the things that I felt really hard to get past. I felt it was very hard to get past. But now I'm like, you know what? It's life is meant to follow whatever you feel like doing at the moment. If it doesn't work out, it wasn't meant to work out. If it doesn't work out, it wasn't your, it gets a little more spiritual that way. I believe in the universe and what
Yeah.
you're meant to do. So I do
Yeah.
have that kind of belief that it'll find its way to you. But that's, I
Yes.
think, what a lot of people do too, is they're worried about what people are going to think. They're worried about not living up to some expectation, and they're worried about not seeing it through to success or quote unquote success. So
Mhm.
that's like a great point too, is like just calling it out, saying what you want to do to these people just takes that
Yeah.
completely out of the picture. Like, and I've done the same thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
screw it. Like, this is who I want to be. Just take it or leave it. Because then you're like, all right, let's just go through it. Let's not worry about what people are thinking. And it's funny about those like sends. That's like my number one thing is like worrying about
Like,
people sending my video around, but like who cares? Like really, who cares? Why do I care? Nobody cares as much
your
as we do
friends aren't
either.
even
So
watching the stuff you send them every time anyways.
exactly. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Say someone you went to high school with or someone you've crossed paths with started a really cool podcast about how to believe in yourself and like be brave. And someone sent you a clip of that person doing that. That's cool.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah, I mean
Like
that
like
right. Right.
we're okay and we
Yeah.
it's fine what we're doing and it's truly just getting past your inner critic is the hardest part and
Mhm.
like being yourself. I
Mhm.
don't feel like I even have like a following online. Like I truly feel like I'm so surprised anytime someone like comments or messages me because
Mhm.
I feel I never like rewatch a video. I just put it out there and it is amazing just like that your people find you and it's really good for you. It's my
Mhm.
tune has changed so much on social media because I used to think like everything single thing you post is just for you to get attention and it's just
Mhm.
like you can't have pure motivations for
Right.
posting on social media. And then whenever I moved back home, I started hanging out with some girls who were just posting like TikTok vlogs of their day. And
Mhm.
I loved consuming them. I loved seeing my friends. And I also had weeded out those friends in my life that were like frenemies
Yeah.
who you just get together and you make fun of what other people are doing or laugh at what other
Mhm.
people are doing.
Mhm.
That those relationships make you feel scared to do anything
Right.
because
True.
if you're making fun of other people, then you think that everyone's going to do that to you. So once I kind of surrounded myself with these girls who were like, it's cool to be you and it's cool to put that out there. Now I see like posting on social media as like such a brave, cool, fun thing to do. And
Mhm.
I think it can be really good for you and a really cool tool if you use it the right way.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can be addicting and really bad. But again,
Mhm.
that's like a personal responsibility thing.
Right. Yeah. the people that I have in my life, I am like post worrying about all the bad, friendships.
Yeah.
I'm in that time now like you are where I have the good people,
Yeah.
but and they're very supportive and whatever, but I don't really have anybody who understands really what I'm doing. So that's I think a
Yeah.
really big thing and it's something that I should probably work on, but that's really helpful too when you're whether or not you have people exactly in your space like me with content creation, if you have people who believe in you and who like will support you regardless, that's so important and
Mhm.
helps your confidence yourself and it almost pushes you to be better anyways in
Mhm.
regardless of all your doubts or your worries and stuff. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's so important too is just having the right people around you.
And if you don't have those people in real life that like really get what you're doing or like are experiencing the same thing, like your online community and like the mutuals that you find online are that's how I've found like all of my support and my
Mhm.
little group of girls that
Yeah.
um, are really encouraging when it comes to like creating content. And I also find sometimes whenever I am just like scrolling my For You page, I can get into like a really comparison mode and be like,
Mhm.
oh, like they get way more views than me, or like they have
Right.
way more followers than me, or no, no, no. Um, and I feel more drained by that as opposed to scrolling in my like following
Yeah.
thing. Like if I switch
Mhm.
over to following, I'm like seeing my girls that I know that I
Mhm.
love, and I'm even just like challenging yourself to like comment on like 10 TikToks of like things your friends are doing. It just makes it feel so much more like a community and like
Mhm.
it feels so good to get a comment on your stuff and just like giving each other that validation is just
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I've
That's
been
that's
trying to do
definitely
that.
what I'm in it for. I started a YouTube years ago and then like a lot of it had to do with mental health and feeling your best self and then finally
Are
I'm
you a
like, all right. What's that?
are you a therapist?
No. No.
So are you like you are a podcaster and like how would you describe what you do?
Yeah, I was trying to post on TikTok before and was like, all right, let's do this. And then my two videos of my dog went viral. And I, yeah, and then of course, and then two of my son went viral. And my son has this rare disorder and it causes hemangiomas on his face. So I think that's one of the reasons because people were like, "What did you do to your son?" Whatever. So I was like, "Let's start this new TikTok, start this new Instagram, and do a podcast." And these are all like, I feel like a lot of things that I've done in my life have compiled like onto it. I was like, "All right, I'm finally going to do this. Screw it, and I'm going to
Yeah.
be a solo podcast." Something I've always been like I can't do that. Like me just
Yeah.
talking, like who wants to listen to that? So to answer your question, I guess right now I'm trying to just help people live authentically through different ways. So after I'm talking with you, I'm going to talk with an astrologer and she's going to kind of teach us how
Oh,
to get in touch with that type of side, talking to another mom later about trying to conceive. Um, and then like human design experts and I
oh, that's
have
cool.
manifested coaches and therapists to talk about PTSD and anxiety. So I kind of want to hit every point
Mental
of,
health
yeah, mental
person.
health and yeah, just being your best self, being authentic, and then
Yeah.
the cringy thing, like just be cringy, who cares? So yeah, that's
Totally.
basically what I want to do. And I just feel like this is
So cool.
everything's been leading to this, and I feel like I'm finally in the right spot. So, anyways, thanks for
Good
asking.
for you. I am
Thank you.
totally I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, that's very
Shipping
nice.
it all back home.
Yeah.
Um, and you said you have a YouTube?
I did, like, years ago. So I knew I always wanted to create content, and
Yeah.
I actually worked as a social worker in assisted living at one point, so I did like all of that stuff, mental health and supporting people and whatever, but then I
Yeah.
started being a freelance writer, then a copywriter, then a social media manager. So I've kind of always had the same trajectory of working for myself, being myself, and connecting with others. I love learning, and I feel like you do as well. So, yeah.
Yes, I was thinking, about this when you were talking about imposter syndrome. Um, the statistics about women applying for jobs that they're overqualified for
Right.
and men not. And
Hmm.
that is like what I'm so passionate about too is just
Yeah.
like why okay, as women, we're just so much more programmed to doubt ourselves and feel like we need to even in the way that like little girls play versus little boys playing,
Hmm.
they little girls are taught to like be perfect before you try. And
Right.
little boys seem to be more like just have fun, just try
Hmm.
and believe in yourself. And that's why,
Hmm.
and a lot of like the hate online, it's like women on women crime is what I call it,
Mm.
or like
Yeah.
mom on mom crime. And
Hmm.
it just gets me going. Like we're not
Yeah.
bringing the same energy to the men, or maybe we should bring the same freedom that men feel to be themselves and not criticize themselves to um, women and little girls, and the
I
imposter
100%
syndrome
agree.
of women is so crazy.
Yeah, that's
So
one
I
of the things holding me back too. It's like feeling that confidence. Like, you just kind of feel a little embarrassed, like why does Kim feel confident or whatever. But yeah, it's something that I think is just ingrained. And one of the reasons that I feel like it's so hard to get past that now is just the older people around me and my family and my son are just they don't even see anything like that as a problem or like
yeah,
realize it. They kind of take an offense to it. They think it's quote unquote woke to you know, like believe that things can be a little different, especially with kids. Like
oh,
you can treat them
oh
nicely, you can have an even
yeah.
playing field for the little girls and whatever. But yeah, so I understand what you mean by that. It starts young is basically the bottom line there. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and I'm also all for blocking people that make you feel self-conscious to show up your like as yourself. Like I think my parents are blocked on my Instagram. I like don't think my siblings watch my videos at all. Like they don't know what the heck I post about.
Yeah.
But if you like if you're thinking this doesn't directly apply to what you were just saying. I
Mhm.
just thought of it. But if you want to start posting and you're thinking about how it's going to be viewed through
Mhm.
someone's eyes, it's okay to block them. And
Mhm.
like it's not even about them. It's about
Mhm.
if you're trying to tailor yourself to be someone that they would
Right.
approve of,
Right.
just block them. It's literally fine and maybe unblock them one day, maybe never do.
Right. Yeah, we're kinda making the rules here as I'm also 30, so I feel like we're kind of making these rules and making things normalized and stuff, so yeah, it's a
Yeah.
weird time to be online too, but, I'm so happy that I had you on. Thank you so much for coming
This
on
was
because I think
so
we touched on all
fun.
the important things. Yeah, I'd love to
I
have
had
you back too.
time. Yeah, anytime. I will sing like a canary. I'll interview you next time.
Okay. No, I absolutely loved it. Do you wanna plug something?
Instagram at the Claire Necessities or TikTok at the Claire Necessities, and that's really it.
Yeah, and Claire posts about being a mom, stay-at-home mom. She's
Mhm.
pregnant. She also does home projects, and what do you
Oh yeah, I've
consider
got a
yourself
really
a
good home project video coming very
Oh, yeah.
soon.
So check into that. We are a slow growing podcast, but I promise you that we'll have more awesome guests like this. I'm so happy to have Claire today. So for all the listeners, I know that you got plenty from what she's had to say, and I hope that you go the rest of your day feeling confident in yourself. And if not, just fake it until you make it. Be cringy. We're here for you, even though it's online. We are your people. So thank you so much for listening. And yeah, see you on the next one.